What's good, y'all? Welcome back to part two of Let's Get It. And where I left off in the last time, we were talking about Kyrie Irving and leadership. And as I was saying in the previous segment, the one thing about leadership I think people take for granted is that it's so easy to be a leader when everything is going well. And the adulation is coming your way and all the notoriety, whether it be the newspaper, the television, whatever. When all those things are going well, it's easy to be the leader and then just be looked at in such a great light. But for me, a true testament of a leader is in times of adversity. And like I said, for myself, speaking for myself, having been on both sides, I played on teams where I was reserved and I had those who were supposed to be leaders that I felt weren't good leaders at all. And that goes for both players as well as coaches. And the times where I felt when I was the leader that I had to set the example because of the attention that I got, and plus just the personal response I took upon myself as one of the captains of the team, that I had to set the example for my teammates to follow. Because how could I sit there and ask them to do something for me if I wasn't willing to do those things myself? And like I said, with Kyrie making the comments that he made about his teammates after the Orlando game, like I said, I had no problem with it. I was just waiting to see if he was going to put up or shut up. Because comments like those, and if you don't know anything about me, the one thing about me is that I believe in accountability. If you run your mouth about something, I'm gonna hold you to what you say. And if you don't come through with it, you only have one option with me. You have to, hold yourself accountable and just be like, hey, I didn't come through. I mean, that's just the way, people should be. But when Kyrie sat out the first game after the comments he made because of his quad, then he came back last night, I was just very into that game. More than anything, I don't think it was the thing about whether I was looking to see if Kyrie would play well, because I believe he would play well. More than anything else, and I don't think a lot of people probably took this into consideration, is I was looking at Kyrie's body language throughout that entire game. That's all I kept watching. If you go through my Twitter timeline, Let Get It MCG, you'll see I was like, I'm looking at Kyrie's body language, especially in that fourth quarter, where Toronto obviously made a comeback. They're a great team. They made a comeback, and I was like, okay, this is going to be interesting. What's Kyrie going to do? Because there was one time where Gordon Hayward, when they were losing, Gordon Hayward threw the ball to Jason Tatum. And the camera caught it just a little bit, but enough that those of you who saw the game, you saw it. Kyrie threw a mini temper tantrum, and I was like, uh-oh. Because I was like, that could have really gone south, in terms of that game. And I was like, okay, this is going to be interesting because, you got a little mad, you didn't get the ball. But the game kept playing. But to Kyrie's credit, at the closing of the game, if you remember, Kyrie made a big three over Kawhi Leonard, but more so, he made some very good passes, to his teammates Horford, to Tatum. They made some great plays off of Kyrie's assist. And it seemed like he genuinely relished in his teammates coming through, to help seal the game. And when it was all said and done, I sat back and thought to myself, like, you know what? It didn't vindicate Kyrie for me for the entire season because it was just one game. Like I said, it was just one game. But in that one game, I just sat there and I said on my timeline, it was a good start. I was like, Kyrie put himself out there. He called out his teammates. But more than anything else, he set the tone and he set an example for them to follow. Because I said, in Kyrie's own right, he was a champion. But let's not overlook the fact that, again, he played with LeBron James. And with that being said, I think after last night, Kyrie, realized himself just how much, responsibility comes with being a leader. And with that being said, just ironically, last night, Kyrie spoke about that with the press, talking about how he had to call LeBron and apologize for what transpired during their time together in Cleveland. And give me one moment, I'll pull out that segment right now.
was a big deal for me because I had to call Bron, and tell him I apologize for being that young player that wanted to everything at his fingertips, and I wanted everything to be at my threshold. I wanted to be the guy that led us to championship. I wanted to be the leader. I wanted to be all that, and the responsibility of being the best player in the world and leading a team is something that's not meant for many people. And Bron was one of those guys that came to Cleveland and tried to really show us what it's like to win a championship, and it was hard for him. And sometimes getting the most out of the group, it's not the easiest thing in the world. And like I said, only few are meant for it or chosen for it. And I feel like the best person to call was him because he's been in the situation. He's been there with me where I've been the young guy of being a 22-year-old kid and wanting everything. Wanting everything right now. Coming off an All-Star year starting, and then this heck of a presence comes back, and now I got to adjust my game to this guy. And take it personal, but at the end of the day, he just wants what's best, and he has a legacy he wants to leave, and he has a window he wants to capture. So I think what that brought me back to was like, all right, how do I get the best out of this group of the success they had last year, and then helping them realize what it takes to win a championship. Oh, relax. Relax. We're good. All right, relax, okay? One question at a time, because when you bring up Bron, of course, it brings extra credit.
When did you call?
I called him after the Orlando.
So I really don't care when he called LeBron, but I said this morning on my Twitter that that took a lot to say. And I know for some of you said that, I'm not buying all that. It's just PR stunt and everything else like that. And to each their own. I mean, that's your right to feel that way. For me, again, like I said, I take a person at their word. If once you say something, I'm going to hold you accountable to it. And again, but that wasn't an easy thing. That, again, I believe Kyrie meant it. I believe that in that moment, he's like, you know what? It is hard to be a leader, which it is. Leadership doesn't come easy. I mean, when you see someone who's a good leader and they may make it look easy, I mean, just imagine what it must be like to be in their shoes. Because I assure you, it's challenging to get someone to follow you. To basically do something that you want them to do when they possibly want to do things their own way. Like I said, it's not just in sports. It can just be in anything. It can be in business. It can be in life, but even as a family. If you have a child, it's like you want to be a good role model. You want to be a good father. You want to be a good mother. You want to be a good older sibling. I mean, just trying to set that example, for someone to follow you, I mean, is not an easy toll. And in this situation, I commended Kyrie for, excuse me, having the, humility to say like, yo, I called LeBron and apologized because I was like, I get it now. I get it that, what you were trying to do. It wasn't about, you basically trying to sum me. You were just trying to help teach me, to help prepare me for when it was my time. And I didn't take advantage of the opportunity while I had it, but I just wanted you to know that now I get it. And like I said, again, it's just one game. And I said, I'm going to take Kyrie for, what he's saying on face value for now. And it's a long season to go. And the one thing about being a leader is like, it never stops. And in Kyrie's case, there's a lot more games to go. We got a lot more regular season left. And then when the playoffs come, and I was like, I'm looking forward to see what he does with this. And will he keep the same, number one, mindset? Will he keep the same attitude? And we continue to set the same tone? Or will we go back to seeing the old Kyrie where he's, making excuses and blaming his teammates for everything? Because, again, a good leader doesn't sit there looking to point the fingers. Hold your teammates accountable always. But at the same time, you hold yourself accountable first. So at the same time, you're sitting there, setting the example of like, look, the same thing I expect of myself is the same thing I would expect of you. There's nothing I would ask of you that I don't ask of myself. And we're going to see if Kyrie's going to be able to do that as the season goes on. So like I said, y'all, that's going to be it for me. Like I said, I had a little makeshift rendition here of Let's Get It. As always, likes and comments are always appreciated. Again, anything, you got any topics you want to throw at me, just let me know. I appreciate all the support, man. Until next time, I hope we're back in the studio, but if not, hey, we'll be right back out here again. We'll try it again, all right? Until next time, Emory Ogletree II, the main attraction. I'm out.